This episode is brought to you by Airlink, high-speed internet technology that you deserve.
Here we go, Stacie McCutcheon, right?
McCutcheon, yes.
Thank you for coming on. How's your mom? And does she have it going on?
Oh, she definitely has it going on.
So walk me through your backstory, your maiden name, social security number, all that kind of stuff, so we can hack into your profiles. But talk to me about like where you're from, who you are. I haven't really, I think, officially like met you till today. Obviously, we've been in a small town, so you've seen everybody. But thank you for coming on. Excited to have you. Start where you want to start.
Well, on my history, so I have a very different, Corey, he's from Fayette, from Howard County, and I'm from all over the place. So you might not know this about me. I was born in Louisiana.
Missouri or the state?
The state of
cool.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
My mom is from West Virginia. My dad is from Texas and Arkansas.
Okay, yeah. Let's start back there then, because I don't know anything about you, to be super honest. So yeah, start where all that happened.
Well, my dad was a pastor with the Methodist Church.
Okay.
So when we were younger, we moved around a lot.
Yep.
So they stationed them almost like military.
Right.
So they move them around every few years. And so I was born in Louisiana and I grew up in Oklahoma in small little towns, a lot smaller than Fayette or some of the very small. Lucene, Oklahoma is the one I remember the most. No one has ever heard of it.
Say it again. Lucene?
Lucene, yes.
How do you spell it? I'm looking it up.
Lucien. It's near, people know Perrymore, north of Oklahoma City.
Population of 66.
Yes. And I think that's grown since I was there. We had I imagine it to be a single wide trailer that served as the post office and the grocery store when I was there.
Yeah.
And so my dad was pastor there. And it's great because, you always have a place that you call like your childhood home. And that's kind of where it was my little kid home.
Wow.
And my sister and I took a road trip this summer with a friend, like a girlfriend. We went all the way through Utah, Route 66 back up through Colorado. And we were taking the Tesla. So there's a charger in Perry and we looked it up and we were 10 minutes away from our like hometown. So we went and it was exactly the same, like identical.
What's there?
Nothing. Like, a church.
Okay, so they're down about
the church is there.
Okay.
I don't know of anything else. I mean, I
gas
saw
station?
No gas station. Like
Motel?
literally nothing. A church, but it is identical to how it was when I was 4 years old. The house that I lived in was identical. My sister and I took pictures that we replicated from when we were 4 years old. So they had these little horses, and I'm upper 30s, almost 40 now.
Hey,
and
sorry. Nope.
I know. I'm still in my 30s.
Anytime somebody says however old they are, that Kevin Hart, Don Cheadle skit where he just goes, dang. And then he's like, I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead. You're getting into your upper 30s. I'm getting there.
And they had the exact same swinging horses. Have you ever like playground swinging horses where they go back and forth? Oh, yeah. Exact same ones from when I was 4 years old. Wow. So that's how much it has not changed. So
I mean, those things are tough. I mean, I would not expect them to ever move.
I mean, we still sat on them and rode them.
Yeah. So seriously, like, is there anything you can even buy in the town?
No, we looked for the grocery store.
There was a grocery store?
It was a single wide trailer that was the post office and the grocery store.
Is the post office still there?
No, we couldn't find it anywhere.
Even with stampflation, they're gone too. That's crazy.
We saw an old shed that we thought maybe it was enclosed in, that we thought maybe that was it. It was in the same place.
Are there people there?
We didn't see a single soul.
Did anybody live in your old house?
Yes. Okay, there were little kids there because there were kid toys out there.
Yeah.
Probably the same age we were. Probably they had houses. The pastors have a house that the Methodist Church usually provides. And they so it's probably the pastor's family that lives there, walks right across the way. So it was really neat.
Very cool.
And then we moved to Missouri when I was 8. And my mom was tired of us moving, so she kind of put her foot down. Because I have 2 sisters, and we're all in the same grade because we were born within a year of each other. We're 2 days before our sister's first birthday. We were born.
Wow,
so it's very
like you're a twin.
I have a twin, and then an older sister.
Wow.
So did you know that I had a twin?
No.
You didn't?
Identical.
Wow. I don't get. See, this would have been so fun. I'd even told somebody that I should have sent my twin in here.
That would have been funny.
First.
And I would have never known.
And then just switched out like,
Yeah.
never mind, it's actually me.
See, we got to hold those bits. I should have held the Stacie's mom bit until we got right into live. I ruined the Stacie's mom joke before air because I just couldn't help myself. So, okay, so came to Missouri to pastor still.
Mhm.
So where?
Up in Moberly.
Moberly.
So
Okay.
we lived in Moberly for 12 years, which was pretty unheard of. They were trying to transition to keep families there longer. Graduated from Moberly, had a little bit of time that I spent there at MACC. That's where I met Corey.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, we both did A+. And back then, A+ covered so much more. So we basically
Is it not
had,
now?
from what I hear, it doesn't
Yeah.
cover as much. I'd love to hear that it does cover more.
I mean, I was, I'm entering into my 30s. So, and when we had A+, it was like, yeah, you got to go to MACC for free.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means outside of you get tuition free. So I don't know.
We had everything pretty much was covered
Like
since we
books.
did.
Was there room and
Books.
board or?
No,
No.
not room and board
Yeah.
there.
I don't even think they have dorms, do they?
Yeah, I don't think they do. I mean, they have maybe sorority house. The
Yeah.
players that come
Right.
in, they have
Yep.
houses for them.
I didn't realize they had a sports team until like a couple years ago. I didn't
Yeah.
realize, and they're fairly good. So,
Yeah, good basketball
Mhm.
team, no football or anything.
no football. I don't know about baseball. I don't think there's baseball.
No, they have a nice big gym that everyone uses for
Everything.
community events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so MACC is where you met Corey. Where did you guys meet? The class? Was it?
Oh, yeah. It was our first day, of course, our first day of college. And he tells it differently than I remember, but, I like his story the most. So the first day of class, I'm there and he's talking to me, and Corey can talk to anyone about anything. And so he meets me. We chat. It's speech class, which is funny because he says it's the worst grade he ever got
Really?
in college.
Wow.
And
It's
he's-
like speech, like public speaking?
Public speaking,
Okay, all
yes.
right.
And so had a good first day. You're meeting everyone. And then the next class, he comes in and he's talking to who he thinks is me. And, still chatting, still going, because you know where this goes. We're both in there.
Mhm.
But he said she wasn't there the first day, and I wasn't there during the second class. So on the third class, we're both there.
Oh my.
And he's trying to figure out, I liked that one conversation. Which one is it? And luckily, it's public speaking. The first speech
Yeah.
you do is
Yeah.
about your partner. Say,
Mhm.
if you get in pairs, you do a speech about them. So he's trying to listen intensely to our speeches, like which one has a girlfriend, which one doesn't, and trying to remember and then tell us apart so that he can go and ask me out to lunch afterwards.
Wow.
So it was, and he picked right. So
There you go.
yeah,
Good.
she had a boyfriend, so
There you
it
go.
would've been a
Okay.
non-start. if-
Yeah, that would have been a fun fight. Have you ever watched The Office?
Yes.
Yeah, it reminds me of that when Michael Scott does a Sharpie on one of the girls at that party that they had. Have you seen that?
No, I don't.
Dude, there's like a
remember
party,
that.
and it's not twins, but it's like two people that look very similar, and he can't remember which one is his date to the party, so he like gives one of them a hug and like marks their
that.
like a. Anyway, so have
it's
you
a good
continued?
idea.
I mean, it works
When we were
for the
in-
time being.
We did cross country in middle school and high school, and one of our last races, the two of us did. We finally figured out, let's put our initials on our shoulders so they know which twin to cheer for. Because a lot of people, we have several stories where people had said we were running cross country in practice, and a new teammate would come in like, that girl, she is so fast. I just saw her pass.
She laughed at me.
She laughed at me. How
And
is
you
she
laugh
doing
in cross
this?
country.
Yeah. So
Wow,
they
that's funny.
Our senior year, we decided, let's put a little S and a little L
Yeah.
on it. And, everyone
And
said
then you
that-
went to the same college.
And then we went to
Are
the
you guys
same-
close?
Oh, yeah, we're
Okay.
really close.
Cool. What's she up to
Yeah.
now?
She is a stay-at-home mom, but she does a lot of things. They have 5 kids.
Wow.
So she just had her 5th in November on Thanksgiving Day.
Awesome.
So
Are they around
Luella
here?
Joe.
Or
They're in Columbia.
Okay.
So she works sometimes to help out with Henry.
gotcha.
And so we get to see her more, and Henry gets to build a little bit more relationship with her. So
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. If people around town see me and I don't say hi, then it might not be me. So,
Okay. That's such an epic, like, not excuse, but like if you're just not feeling social, just be like, it was
I'm
my
her
sister.
twin.
Like, dude, you said this to me. I'd be like, no, I didn't say that. That must have been my twin. Yeah.
I love that. You see, I've never done that before.
Yeah. Well, that's me and my nefarious thinking. But, because my older brother is not my twin, but lots of people get us confused. This episode is brought to you by Airlink. Airlink. Since 2011, Airlink Broadband of Salisbury has been powering homes and businesses around here with fast and dependable internet. The goal of Airlink here is to bring you and our communities the kind of internet service that makes your life easier, smoother, and makes your life more enjoyable. Curious if Airlink is available to you? Head on over to getairlink.com. That's getairlink.com. Or head over to the Airlink Facebook page that we'll link below. Airlink Broadband, great quality, local service, future facing. Let them prove it to you today. Because we do the same job and we sound very similar and we look similar-ish. I just have more hair up top for now. And he has more hair in the beard, so whatever. But yeah, I oftentimes, like, seriously, if people are like, you said this online, and I'm like, I don't think that was me. I don't think that was me. I think that was Logan. So anyway, okay, so you and Corey meet. Tell me the story there. Like, so you just start dating at MACC.
Just started dating.
And for how long?
I mean, in the end, we dated for a little over 6 years before we got married. It was, when you're starting college, you kind of want to make sure you have everything. I have encouraged people. I mean, we're planners. We both, he did investments and I did, banking in the end. But so we like, hard facts and numbers and to follow a plan. And so we tell people like, you don't need to follow the plan. Just, if you feel like getting married, you don't need to wait for these milestones to occur.
You're never really going to be ready.
Right. You're never really going to be ready. And instead you could be building.
But I can understand why, because I'm guessing you were in college around some of the biggest financial crises of all time.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to study abroad and when I came back, everything had changed. Like a lot of things had changed.
Yeah. What did you study in college?
I did agribusiness management in Kaffner.
What was your dream?
My dream, that's a good question. I had so many things that I wanted to be involved in that it really was, banking sort of fell into my lap.
Okay.
And it really aligned with everything that I'm passionate about, like service and then numbers. So you can use both of those things. And so that's how I ended up in banking. Do you know Nathan Anderson by chance? He's from Fayette. Okay. So he was my first banking manager at Regions Bank. So it was so funny finding, we had lived in Mexico at the time and because Corey had pursued an investing career. And so whenever I was going to Columbia in banking, we, to find someone from Fayette that I ended up working with was just kind of funny.
That's very cool.
Small town, even in
both
a big world.
of you, I mean, did you get associates then? Did you go 4 years eventually? Or
I went bachelor's with agribusiness management.
All at MACC, or did you have to go get it?
Sorry, I did the associates at MACC just to get the A+, maximize my dollar there.
Yep.
And then went to Mizzou, and that's where Kaffner is. So it's the College of Agriculture, Food and Natural Resources. So I was going to go to the business school, but I am not much of a 400-person class group. Sure. I had to take a couple of classes there just to get some emphasis that I wanted. But, I felt like I'm more of a hands-on learner, and I want to be able to talk to my professor, not go office hours for his TA. So I did Kaffner because I toured there, and it was a very small school, part of it, agriculture focused. So everyone was very polite. Everyone was just very welcoming and much smaller class sizes there. So went there, got my degree in agribusiness management. That's where I was wanted to study abroad in France.
Okay.
So they found a program suited for me. So they heard my needs and kind of set me up with that. So that was really nice because I get to go for 3 months to France.
Did you get to work over there or was it?
I worked for a little bit. What it was we went for a month at a university we studied. And then for a month we got to study on a vineyard under the owners,
Sick.
Which was great.
Yeah.
And then the family invited me to stay for an extra month after that. Like,
very cool.
You're so great.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh.
And just invited me to come and have fun and just live as one of their daughters at their house. And it was fantastic. Yeah.
Cool. Do you still keep up with them?
Not as much. The father passed away, sadly. And so he was more of my main connection and his son. And it was funny because his daughter came to America whenever I came to
Just
France.
swapped.
So we just
Yeah,
swapped, right?
swapped, yeah.
She was in Colorado. It was so funny to see her pictures because it was very much what they think of Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So she had on like the Texas blanket and cowboy boots and a hat. They're like, yeah, the cowboys in America.
Oh, that's
I was
funny.
like, it's true. I mean, we do
To
wear
a sense,
cowboy
yeah.
hats
Yeah,
and,
you know.
and boots.
America, you know.
But
Yeah.
it's just funny. They're like, do you ever go to Texas? Like, Texas is there.
Yeah.
It's just far away. I mean, it's not like I can
Yeah.
pop over for the day. Everything's not, I think everything's so condensed here.
Yeah, because it is over there, right? It's pretty
It
all
is. Like,
packed on each other.
we went all over the place. We'd go to the weekend in Spain.
Yep.
You know, everything's just so close together. So, but I really liked it there. I mean, they had horses, so you could ride horses through the vineyard. It was very,
Jeez.
yeah, it was the
Living
dream.
a movie.
Yes,
That's awesome.
Literally,
Were you
felt
dating
like,
Corey at the time too while you were doing
no,
that?
I wasn't.
Okay.
After I came back, we were. So we took a
Gotcha.
break then. I mean, you take a break.
Okay, I won't poke in that. I'll ask
Yeah.
Corey when I get him on. I'll
Yeah.
ask him about that.
Say,
one.
no,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, what happened there, man? Anyway, okay, so you really didn't have like a dream job that you were pursuing with the agribusiness thing, or did you?
No, it wasn't. It was just a lot of things that aligned with what I wanted. So smaller school, emphasis on finance and economics, and just, you know, could kind of match. I mean, Mizzou has a lot of things you can do.
Yeah.
I took French when I was there, but
Cool.
French.
Yeah, I'm good with. I wish I had. I just need to challenge myself. I'd like to learn some additional language. At least sign language, I think would be cool
Oh yeah,
to at least learn that. But then I'm like, when am
you
I
got
gonna
to
have
do
to
Duolingo, right?
get Duolingo? I'm going to Japan this next year, so
Oh, there you go.
I got an email about like being prepared for it. You're not supposed to like wave over there, or you're supposed to point.
Yes,
You don't point.
You can't point. That's rude,
It's
right?
So interesting.
Doesn't
Yeah, it's rude.
Doesn't it mean something though?
I would assume it's similar to the middle finger. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
have no
sure
clue.
what it means, but I know I've been told that too.
Yeah,
I've never
so-
even planned a trip
yeah.
to Japan.
Yep.
We used to
And-
have foreign exchange students
Hmm.
from Thailand and Korea,
Yeah.
South Korea.
I mean, pointing is rude if we're being honest about it. Like if I point at you, it's usually like, look at that guy.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. He's crazy. You know.
No, it's you're the man, Cody.
But yeah, but if like I ask for directions, does he have to go like does the Japan man have to go like this? You know?
With your elbow
Maybe like, yeah, somewhere
over there.
over there. You know, I don't know. But anyway, okay. So you get back from your tour.
My tour.
gosh.
Oh.
Your study abroad, and you land what job?
I was still in college. I was
Okay.
still at the university
Okay.
then. So then when I come back, I had been working. One reason why I saw such a big shift in the economy when I came back from France was when I was in college, I worked at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Chevy's Fresh Mex, if anyone remembers it.
I love Chevy's.
Chevy's was
Went
the
there
best.
everywhere for my birthday. We have like
Did you?
15 sombreros in our basement.
Did you?
Yeah, every
Oh my
single one of
goodness.
us. Yeah.
Chevy's was
Miss Chevy's.
Yes.
What's in there now? Is that been kind of like the revolving door of restaurants since
no,
then?
next to it is
That's
the
what I'm
Cheddar's.
thinking of. Okay,
Cheddar's
Cheddar's.
is there now. And they've
Yeah.
been there for a while
They're
now.
fine. Cheddar's is fine.
They tore down Chevy's to build Cheddar's. So it's
Why?
just-
I don't know. Because the Chevy's building was cool too.
the Chevy's building was very neat.
And the tortilla chips and the queso dip
So you
and
went
the
to the
sombreros.
Columbia
yeah.
Chevy's?
Oh, yeah. I grew up in
Where-
Columbia for the most part.
Oh, did you?
And then in 2007-ish was when we moved here, 2008. Man, Chevy's was good. But yeah, the one right next to
Probably
it has been
so,
like a
too.
new restaurant every 2 years. I think it's a sushi
Yes.
place now.
It is.
Have you
Corey
been there?
just went there for his birthday.
Okay.
I did
All right.
not go.
You did not go?
No, it was with. It wasn't
Happy
my-
birthday, Corey.
It wasn't necessarily me. It was his.
Yeah.
Everyone from work was getting together to take him to lunch. So
Yeah.
I
Well, and with
met
kids,
him.
it's like, I don't know when we're going to go, where,
Right.
anywhere, and how.
I had to meet him to pick up Henry from him, I believe,
Yeah.
so that he could make it to lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. We just went out and saw Nate Bargatze this weekend.
Oh, did you? I really wanted
That's
to go
the
to
first time Annie and I have been without our kids in 8 months.
that. Wow. Mhm.
Like we haven't been on a date, we haven't gone
Mhm.
out. You obviously
It's
understand
hard.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, all right, we're gonna go out, and then you just kind of sit across from each other. You're like, so what do we talk about?
We can't talk about the kids.
Well, but we do. We'll just whip out
Right.
our phone, start like, look at this picture I took of her.
100%. That is exactly like it's catch up on what the kids
Yeah.
are doing outside of.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things too, where like you could start talking about like your problems, but you're like, no, this is our only time out. Like, don't start hashing it out. So usually we'll start, I'll usually start the dinner by being like, all right, so this is our time to fight. So let's go.
Do you?
it's as a
But
joke.
started off as a sour month.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so you graduate college, land a job in banking, right?
Yes,
Regions Bank.
Regions Bank.
How long are you there?
I was there for probably about 2.5 years, and it was great. It was a good foundation for me. I already had a foundation in service, and it just let me have that emphasis on getting to know banking and getting to know more in depth on research. I was just frontline there, but I learned so much, and Nathan was a great
Mm-hmm.
kind of tutor there on he'd let me I would just sit there in my little pod and listen to his conversations so I could learn then to how to talk to
Yeah,
people. I mean, it's
yeah.
great if you
That's
can listen
the
to
right way to
somebody.
do it. Yeah.
And he's great with like all different kinds of situations. So I learned a lot from him and then was sort of shopped out. Someone came by just asking, and I had a conversation with them. And then bank gave me a call and said, "We're opening a new branch. It's First Midwest Bank. They're from Poplar Bluff
Mhm,
area."
mhm.
And so they said, "We're opening a new branch. We'd love to bring you on." It was really hard for me to leave that foundation at Regions. I mean, you get so attached to everyone, but it was a great opportunity because it allowed me growth and a little bit more control. I mean, when you're in a big corporate bank, I mean, people will know this. Corporations sometimes, just get so big that they have to do things a certain way.
Right.
And so you don't have a lot of control over your own path. You kind of just have to go with what the area allows. So I went there, and even though it was a smaller bank, I just loved that it was a small town community bank in Columbia.
Yeah.
So
Which they've now boomed, haven't they?
what's that?
First Midwest, aren't they pretty big now?
I mean, they only have the 2 branches still in
Okay.
Columbia, but
But they
there's
just built that new building. I don't know if you've seen that.
not the
just-
new one. No.
They just built
Oh, well, there was a
big
little
ol-
bit ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like last year-ish. Yeah.
No, it wasn't last year. It's been longer than
I
that.
think they just built a new building.
There are other ones. Okay,
Called
so there's
First Midwest.
Mid Bank.
That's why we have laptops. Here we go.
Yeah, look it up. Please don't prove me wrong. That would look so bad if I didn't know about a new branch.
Wait. You work there currently?
No.
Okay.
So that would be really bad if
Well, that's why I was like, I'm not trying to out you. Is this the logo?
Yes, where
Okay.
did they wait?
Okay, hold on. From Poplar Bluff. Yeah,
No,
they
they
just
wanted
built
to.
a new down on Nifong. They just built a new branch.
Oh, show me.
I'm pretty sure.
Do not
Because my
include
friend
this.
works there. Yeah, my friend works there. Um
Well, who's your friend?
he-
No, yes, that's the one. That's been
Yeah.
years.
No, they just built that.
No, that's been years. Okay, on iPhone,
Yeah.
across from
State Farm
Walmart.
Boulevard,
Across
area.
from Walmart. Oh,
Yeah.
No, that's been 7 years. I was part of that. 8 years, maybe
I'm thinking
even.
of Mid-America.
Oh,
Bank.
thank you. Okay, now you can include it.
Yeah, leave all that in. I'm thinking of Mid-America.
I was like,
Bank.
I can't be that disconnected that I didn't know they built a new
Yeah.
branch.
No, my friend is Brandon Callista, who was a loan officer at Old Hawthorne, and now he's over at First, whatever that is,
First
Mid-America Bank. Man, I did the
Mid-America.
thing that drives me crazy when people are like, you work at, I can't talk about any of these names at all, but they'll, in my world, so many names share different pieces of names, like Allstate, State
Oh,
blank, that kind of stuff.
When Landmark sold to First Mid, that was a nightmare because people would come in thinking that we were
Mhm.
them. And then there's a credit union. So we had a very clean look with a copper top roof.
Mhm.
And then a credit union they didn't replicate that look. It's not like they were stealing from us, but an architect thought it also looked good. And then that added a lot of confusion too. Like, oh, you built that new branch. No.
No.
No,
But
we
yes,
were
if you're coming in here to
distinguished.
deposit money,
Yes.
sure.
We had plans for that.
Yeah, you might have already said this, but like most people that I meet in either the banking industry or my industry, none of them like grew up dreaming to do that. You talked about like this kind of, what originally inspired you to be like, I want to be in banking? Because it sounds like that was kind of your goal.
It wasn't necessarily my goal, but I've always always loved numbers. I mean, you've not met Jax, have you?
No.
My oldest.
Mm-mm.
He's
Not that I can
obsessed
remember
with
anyway.
numbers
Okay.
and he's always been obsessed with numbers. He didn't talk till he was 18 months old, really. And that was to count to when he learned he could count to 20. And so he's like, oh, I can count. I'll use my words to count. Again, that's how it's been ever since. Like
yeah.
his mouth, he just loves math. He's so good at it. I mean,
I love math because it's just, there's no questions.
Mhm.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is exactly what it is.
When there are questions, you're wondering, what did I do wrong?
Sure,
Or,
yeah. But
who
it's
did this
never
wrong?
up to my interpretation.
Yes.
It's
but
always right.
that is true. But also there's a story in math, especially whenever you're doing banking and accounting, because it tells a lot of how things flow and where are we emphasizing our priorities.
Yep.
And
It's a truth teller.
yeah, it really is. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
hard facts telling exactly, like, this is what we want. This is what we are choosing to spend our time and money on. So
Ultimately, though, you kind of land in banking because you like numbers, because you like service.
well, so another thing is my identical twin had gotten into banking.
Cool.
So I see her satisfied in her career and liking that, and just, every day you're learning something new. I mean, it seems like you can't, but that's up to you.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, you can get stuck in a rut in any job, but if you are really taken by it and love the information you're receiving and you just want to learn more and more and more, I mean, that excitement's going to bleed over.
And then it makes you better at your job.
Makes
and
you
then
way better.
The people you work with like you more, and the customers you help like you more. Yeah.
Well, you're going to be bored at the end of the day if you're not interested in what you're doing.
It's true. Okay, so you get into banking. You're at Regions. Then you move over to not Mid-Am, but First Midwest, who has a really nice building down on Nifong across from Walmart.
Yes. I opened the stadium branch near the university.
Okay.
So I was part of that.
Nice.
Very nice.
And then what?
And then, I mean, I grew there. So I became branch manager and assistant vice president there. It was great because in a smaller bank, I mean, you couldn't have had it at Regions, but in a smaller community bank, and I'm sure it's the same here. I mean, we have input from the people that own the bank and the actual directors. So we can give our insight and they hear it. So if there's something going on or if you have a new strategy, I mean, there were so many times that we saw a problem. Like at one point I was noticing a trend with a lot of my good customers, because you build relationships with people. And so a lot of people that were building relationships with, and part of that increases your deposits within the bank, were limiting the amount they would deposit to around, 247, 248, so 1,000, 248, 247.
Yeah.
Do you know what that might allude to?
The FDIC insurance.
FDIC insurance. So we investigated that a little bit more because, I mean, FDIC is a big part about banking, but we found strategies around helping them maximize their FDIC coverage.
Yeah.
And most people don't look into that. They just say, oh, 250,000, I can't exceed it.
Right.
And then we just found different strategies for them.
Can you explain the rules around that? Because I think people actually like to learn that.
FDIC. So FDIC, if you go to their website, they will help you break down. And it's all about account ownership type. Right. So most people think, well, we as a family have 250,000 in the bank. That means I can't exceed it. But if, let's say, Corey and I had accounts and he had just a single account in his name, he gets 250,000 worth of coverage. In my own name as a single owner, I get 250,000 worth of coverage. And then us as a joint couple get 250,000 worth of coverage. And then if we had additional signers, and that, of course, you will have people who can take money out of your account.
Yeah.
But if you add other people on, then that can extend your coverage further and further. So for families where they were just scared essentially of FDIC and exceeding it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a concern people have, but it's not something we've had to face. So it's just an extra
layer of
layer
protection.
of protection.
Did we even face it in 08?
No, not that I believe, but I mean, maybe you can fact check me on that.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I don't think a lot of it happened, if at all.
Yeah,
you know?
But people are cautious. I mean, it's your money. You work hard for that money. You want to make sure it's taken care of the way that you intend for it to be taken care of and not lose it on a technicality.
Right.
And no matter how loyal you are to a bank, you're not going to risk it. If you think that is a big risk, you're not going to exceed that just because you like your banker.
Yeah.
So for us to provide opportunities and they could still stay with us, that really would have helped.
Because then they would take it and just go to a different bank. Is that kind of what they would do?
They would I love you. You're great. I trust you. I come to you for my resources, but any banking question I have is coming to you. But anything over 250,000, I'm going to take over here because
I've also noticed it seems like there's a top of the curve of interest rate yield on amounts in those accounts too. Like I feel like when the CDs get bigger, the money markets get bigger, like after 250,000, that interest rate starts to fall off a little bit and go down. Is that?
I didn't notice that trend, but okay. I didn't deal with I mean, a lot of my customers didn't do CDs of that large.
Gotcha.
Some would try to maximize their coverage in there, but a lot, some were just wanting cash readily available. I dealt with a lot of older customers or customers that had plans for how they were going to use it. So,
yeah. I think I heard a stat. This was pre-COVID, but I think 19 trillion in CDs and 11 trillion in the stock market at one point. Just kind of showing you the behavior of people would much prefer the safety of and accessibility of in the local bank versus in the stock market. So whatever. Well, then we've just now completely bored the audience. So I'm sorry about that. So branch manager, all that stuff. Keep going.
Well, so the only reason that I left banking, and I probably wouldn't have left, but we had some, not necessarily turmoil in our family, but we've had some challenges. I need a minute. Just with Henry.
Do you want to share this stuff? I mean,
I do, because it's important.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk all about that as much as you want.
No, I think it's good to talk about it for sure. Just every time you get psyched up about it. Well, so on our family life, we've had a lot of evolution in how we handle things. So we have 3 boys. We have Jax, Henry, and Ellis.
Alice?
Ellis. Ellis. It does sound like Alice, but it's Ellis.
Nice.
So
girl or boy? Sorry, I don't.
All boys.
All boys.
Yes.
Okay,
I know
gotcha.
it is.
Well, because I have Ellie, who is Ellison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is kind of a boy name, but a little bit back and forth, I guess.
Yes.
But we named her after a place.
We had I had an uncle whose middle name was Ellis. So, and Ellis is just, we wanted something with Henry. When we had Jax, we thought we were having a cute little unique name. His name is John Alexander. So 2 family names. And we'll call him Jax just to shorten it. And then every boy that year was named Jax or Jackson. Like literally every boy. And then when we had Henry, this is a cute little man name. We've always loved the name Henry. It's not even a family name. We just really love the name. Every little boy was named, your dog was named Henry. And it was just like
that and Oliver. Henry and Oliver came roaring back in the same couple years.
Oliver was considered glad. I have a friend, one of my best friends, her little boy's name's Oliver. It's everywhere. So Ellis, we're we got to really think hard this time. We want something that's meaningful and that people will know, but not every little kid is going to have. But it came back as a girl name. So it's it's still unisex
it
to a
works.
degree.
It's totally unisex. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And he adores it and he can spell it. And
good.
It's unique enough that it's not every kid in his class named that. Yeah. So.
Does he go by Eli or is it just Ellis?
No, just Ellis.
Nice.
We sometimes call him Ellie. Just for fun. But
L's,
Eller, Beller, Doobie Deller.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Absolutely.
After Henner Benner Chicken Dinner.
Yeah. So was your plan to continue working through parenting originally?
Yes. I mean, I'd always wanted to be home with my kids, but, logistically, it didn't always make sense. So Corey had worked for Airlink. He was Airlink's first employee.
Really?
Yes, his very first employee.
That's cool.
Okay, so Corey and Woody had owned a wireless internet company in Fayette.
Who is Corey to Woody?
Uncle Woody. So his uncle. Okay.
Who was Corey's dad?
Lane McCutcheon. He passed away a few years ago.
Okay.
So
Lane. So it was Lane, Dane.
Dane,
Woody.
Chuck, and Susie. And then Woody. Okay. And Woody is actually John. So Jax is John.
Got it. Okay.
Family.
All right.
The 4th John McCutcheon. So
very cool.
Yes. And Lane and then Corey's mom had run the grocery store here in town. So
CNR?
McCutcheon's before.
Where was that? Where was that?
Over where the corner store is.
Really?
Well, where Braun Home.
Yeah. Huh.
That used to be
a grocery store.
AF Super Saver.
Man, what happened to Highway 5, man? That is.
I mean, it's got the corner store there, and it has Braun Home there.
Well, yes, you're good at being optimistic. I'm just what happened to McDonald's, DQ? We do have. Do you remember when that used to be? Was it J or JJ's Cafe?
I know the name, but I don't remember it.
It used to be either J's or JJ's Cafe. Somebody clean me up on that. But anyway, I'll stop. Go ahead. Keep going. So they owned a grocery store, and then they owned a wireless company with Woody.
So Woody and Corey, when Corey was in high school, started a wireless internet. You should talk to him about this.
Yeah, I will.
He would love it. But so, of course, he went into investing and he went a different path. And when we were at someone's house and Casey was coming to install internet, and Corey will talk to anyone about anything. And this was like a whole world he'd missed out on.
Yeah.
It was his passion, electronics and everything. And so he just picked Casey's brain to no end. And then he asked Casey, because he really wanted to, hey, can I come out with you and just like do some installs? Like he just loves doing that thing and he loves learning those things and he can learn anything. He's amazing. But so eventually Casey brought him on as his first employee for Airlink. So
That's cool.
yeah, he worked there for quite a while. We had found out that Henry had a genetic condition called Angelman syndrome. And so when he got diagnosed, that just opens a world up. So he needed special therapies and, we're always at the doctor, always doing everything. And for both of us to have full-time, daytime jobs just didn't align with that. So we had to figure out something, and neither of us could really keep up like our plans with stepping away. I mean, maybe we could do part-time, and he made a really hard decision at the time, and you kind of see God's work and everything, but like I always get emotional on these things. So he made a decision. Veterans United opened up a flex position that was nights. And so usually it takes people a long time to get in at Veterans United, at least at the time it did. And he went and saw this position, allowed him to have flexible hours and then just work nights and weekends. And then we could accommodate Henry's therapy schedule. So he had to leave Airlink to go to Veterans United. But it worked out really well because that, like his drive there allowed it so that I could make we can make the decision for me to get to stay home. So only left banking because we had Ellis when Ellis was about a little over 6 months old, maybe. We decided to stay home and raise him and kind of do what you want to do with your babies, and then accommodate Henry's therapy schedule. Like Henry today had a doctor's appointment we had to take him to. So they're just always, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
When did you discover that diagnosis? Was it during pregnancy or was it after?
No, it is a genetic condition. So, and it's not an inherited genetic condition, Angelman syndrome. It affects chromosome 15. And so there are several versions of it. And his is called UPD. A lot of times it can be, a corruption on chromosome 15. And what it is there's a protein that's expressed. And you have mom's copy of chromosome 15 and dad's copy of chromosome 15. And dad's copy is silenced, but mom's copy will only produce its UB3A protein, and specifically in the brain. So your body needs it to have certain functions. And they're not 100% sure how it all works.
Sure.
But they've identified that much of it at least. But it affects like his gross motor and his ability to speak and just cognitive. We feel, and anyone I feel that meets Henry feels that he has really high receptive language, but his expressive language is really low. So he uses an AC, a little talker. So, and he's really good at kind of saying, like yesterday at school, the teacher sent me a picture and said, Henry was very adamant he did not want crayons in art. And when the art teacher said, well, what do you want, Henry? He said, I want paint. So she got to paint, and she said, what color do you want? He's like, yellow. So she sent me this really cute picture of him. He painted these yellow flowers, like this abstract yellow flower. And so I was really excited to see like him advocating for himself. But so you're born with it, of course, when you have Angelman syndrome. It's not something you can get sick from. And it's generally not an inherited thing. It's like a fluke in genetics. I mean, it happens all the time, but this one just causes some mass global concerns. And so he's the second child, and you always compare the two kids, right? Yeah. And so we were comparing him to his older brother, who was relatively advanced in certain things. And we went and we went to a birthday party for a nephew who was turning 1, and Henry had turned 1, 4 months before that. And we didn't notice the stark contrast in what he could do versus what, seeing those kids in those celebrations, like they smash the cake and they are opening their presents, and just seeing the contrast between our 1-year-old and and our nephew and what he, how well he could smash it. And
Yeah.
Henry had a great time and we didn't question anything. And doctors had never questioned anything before, but we began to really question things. Then he couldn't sit up on his own and he wasn't able to walk, but really just, it was the movement. Like he couldn't tear open his presents. And here's this little boy who's, younger than him and he's able to do all those things. So we took him in to the Thompson Center. They got him evaluated and really highlighted everything he couldn't do. And then at the time we thought he was having seizures. And so we took him to St. Louis to get evaluated. And luckily we had a neurologist there that suggested a genetic panel because he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, thinking that if something happened in utero. And kind of just we're going to leave it at that because he was really responsive to therapies. So he was starting to gain his strength. And usually if you're responsive, you just need those fine-tuned tweaks. And she recommended a genetic panel. We went and had it done and found out within a couple months that he had Angelman syndrome. So it's like always really hard to talk about. But we've had really good support like in the community ever since. He, it's amazing. And I think that's what's interesting about a lot of these diagnoses. Like doctors have to be honest, but to a degree, it comes out very pessimistic.
Sure.
And we're not very pessimistic people in general. So they said things like he wouldn't walk, he's not going to talk. He's going to have to live, like he's not going to be able to live on his own at all.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be taken care of his entire life. So that's really hard to hear when it's your 2-year-old. So
yeah, I'll take the baton for a little bit for you. The words and the language around all that is just super permanent when they're talking about it, and you're just like, woo. And like a lot of can't and won't. And I can hear, and talk to me a little bit about this. I can hear just in our conversation so far, you're very intentional about the words you use.
Yeah.
Challenges, opportunities, things like that. I mean, try to, if you can, talk about like just the process of reshaping what you thought your world was going to look like from that time.
Yeah, that's a hard question because you're
probably still doing it all the time.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And you have to be optimistic because otherwise you can just
It'd be dark.
Get into a pit. And we see families that get into a pit.
Yep.
And it's hard from day to day. Like each day is different. He's been going through a hard last couple weeks. And, you kind of remember, and it was always like sometimes those hard weeks actually remind you how far you've grown because you remember, it used to always be like this.
Yeah.
And now we've had plans and we've had growth. And just because he has, a couple hard weeks, I mean, remember when this was every day. So, yes. But you have to be optimistic and you have to not put limits. Like if we had just taken what they said and not really pushed to say, no, you don't know Henry, like everyone kind of sees that in him. He's such a social little. Have you met Henry? So because Henry.
Yeah, Henry's been to Henry's.
Henry's into yeah, I said that to you. We always say that. Like, Henry, we're going to Henry's and maybe we'll see Henry's and get some Henry's. But he also loves Henry, so he does.
I remember, I think when he met Henry, because I had Henry on the leash with him. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, he certainly adores him, but he's so social and he's very determined. So we had First Steps came out. Are you familiar with First Steps?
Oh, yeah.
So they provide services up to 3, and it was nice because they don't let a lot of roadblocks get in the way. They understand that this is the time we need to get these kids resources, and we're going to expedite it essentially. So they got him his first talker, which I thought was great because it used to be that people, they made you prove a little bit before kids could get their AAC device, which is just insane because, I mean, you think this is his voice and we don't make other kids prove that they're going to have a voice in order to get a voice.
Yeah.
I mean, kids are babbling. I mean, that's his babbling. We went through years of pushing buttons, and he used to push the button that he wanted about 20 times. Just so then we'd hear cookie, 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 and he'd just stop the cookie. So, and he can't do that either.
Yeah.
But, just being positive with him, letting him lead, and then not letting him. I mean, kids with Angelman syndrome really are. They do persevere. Like they very much want to break the odds, and you see it in all of them. And they all have different abilities. We do know some Angelman kiddos that are still wheelchair bound, but usually I think it's this faith and this in their families and from the community. Now that our communities are more, because it's so rare. I mean, it's like 1 in 20,000 births. So there aren't very many around here that we know. I mean, we have a little friend that's sort of close by that does therapy in Columbia that we've met up a few times, but we go to St. Louis and then you can get people coming together, and they just opened a clinic in Kansas City. So that's nice to kind of have people closer together. But really, you don't often meet a lot of Angelman syndrome kids near you. So I think because that community's opened up, people are a lot more supportive of each other. And we have the Angelman Syndrome Foundation, and they're great advocates for resources. And they provide a lot of information, and they even provide family counseling because they know it's hard. So, but you see each generation has a better outcome because they're more connected, there's more resources, and there's more therapies, and people are willing to do that. Like families had to make sacrifices. Corey had to leave a job he loves because it was the right choice for Henry, and then I got to do the same, and things have worked out for us. So yeah.
Where is your faith? Have you always been a Christian, being raised in that? And talk to me through some of your faith journey through some of this stuff.
Yeah, so I think being strong in your faith has really helped with that. I mean, that's also the optimism around it. Like, I think if you don't have God to rely on, and then it makes it a little bit more like, where is your hope if it's not in God? So, so you're always crying.
Yeah, no,
I have to do a lot of editing. I'm sorry.
No, this is good.
I'll just tell you about that later. But so I grew up in the faith and grew up surrounded by Christians and strong Christians, and seeing that Christian household, and it was really great because on Corey and I's probably first date, we talked about our faith and about our goals to make sure we aligned, and that's something we encourage other young couples to do. Like, don't just sit around and have fun if you're serious about growing a family, having a family, because if faith is important to you, you need to be upfront about that. So we've always had that as a stronghold in our relationship, as trying to put God first. And we had a great church in Fulton that we used to go to when we lived in Mexico. And now we're here at Faith Family, and they've been very welcoming and very accepting. And it was kind of hard. We had gone to Grace Fellowship for a while. Are you familiar with Grace Fellowship? And that was a great group of people, but Henry couldn't stay in the sanctuary there because, sensory overload. It was just too loud for him. But the people there, like just having those people, everyone was so welcoming and accepting of Henry, and just no one cared that he took up the whole sanctuary with his voice. I mean, parents, you get a little bit more hesitant about it, but definitely everyone, and that's encouraging, because then other families with special needs are encouraged to attend church, because I do feel like that's a gap that people are trying to fill. Is there are special needs individuals, and some families are deterred from attending regularly because they're worried about how their kid is going to be accepted, or if their kid is going to disrupt church. I mean,
or even just like a total lack of understanding or awareness of the situation too for your kiddo, I think is a big thing with church too, of just like, oh yeah, he's just like all the other ones. Just get him in here. And you're like, no, this is not going to go the way you think it is.
Right.
That's definitely another piece of it too. It's just like, are they going to care for my kiddo the way they need to be cared for? I'm not asking for a, full service therapy licensed person, but I am asking for they're not going to talk to you the way these other kids talk to you. They're not going to respond the way these other kids respond.
And just because they may seem like they're acting negatively or having bad behaviors, they're just trying to communicate.
Right.
And or they may be scared, or they wanted to answer that question. I remember at Faith Family, I was told, because we're really lucky, we have a personal assistant. So Abigail will come, and then we've had other personal assistants that have helped out as well. But she gets to go to class with him, so we know that he's taken care of. But I know that's not something that every family gets.
Yeah.
And it is really hard, especially on the fly, to go to church, take him to Sunday school, and then, I mean, you've learned all this stuff over years on how to handle. It's really hard to trust someone to be able to handle that on a 3-minute conversation.
Here's the cliff notes. That's what you're going to do. And, it's, hard.
Yes. And I know more churches are bringing that about.
Yeah.
Special needs ministries, or even buddy programs where they have trained individuals that stay, like a para, essentially, at church. It's really nice to see that emerging. It's kind of hard in rural areas because that's also someone else that has to come out of church that doesn't get to attend. And that was always a struggle for us, is asking people to leave just so that we can attend church.
Yeah.
And that always kind of, was another struggle on top of it all. Like, I could stay with him, or one of us could stay with him, but then we're not receiving any of that information or that fellowship, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult.
Hard to rest ever, and then especially if you don't get to do it, then you're just like, oh, yeah.
Well, and taking them to a new church is hard.
Yep.
So the more welcoming, I encourage Christians at the church to just be as welcoming as possible, because it's way harder than it looks.
Yep. How about siblings with him?
So he has 2 brothers, and it's so hilarious because, siblings and friends, they don't see what adults see, like the concerns that we have. They don't, they're not, they take it for what it is half the time. I mean, it was a struggle for friends that didn't know Henry to say, especially when he got bigger, because you can't get away with the baby things anymore. Like, oh, well, we're aware that a toddler is gonna hit and not know that it's wrong, or a toddler's gonna pull hair, and maybe that's okay. Like, they're still learning. But once he gets older and there's not someone to intercept certain things, then it's just, sometimes it's harder for kids. Oh, he shouldn't be acting that way, or parents just don't understand because he looks typical, but he's a big kid. So big kids shouldn't be pulling hair. Only kids that pull hair are mean kids. Kids that aren't disciplined, or kids that the parents aren't watching out for. And so with siblings, especially Ellis was probably Henry's biggest present ever, because he came when Henry was about 2.5, almost 3. It was right before his 3rd birthday, and he adored him. And Ellis taught Henry so much, because as Ellis was developing, Henry would try and do those same skills. But Ellis, was so patient. Brothers are so patient with them. Half the time now they're a little less forgiving. If they know what he's trying to say, they just don't like how he's trying to say it. But it's nice to see them advocate for their brother. It's nice to see classmates advocate for him, because he doesn't pull hair very much anymore. It used to be a big problem, especially blonde curly hair. You could see in his eyes. It was almost like he was hypnotized.
That. Yeah, I think I witnessed it once. I can't remember who it was, but
his eyes just like it looks like he's hypnotized, and he's gotten so much better. Like, he has to grab that hair.
I literally witnessed that. Abigail had him at the time, and I can't remember whose hair.
Oh man!
But she knew too. Like, she was like, "Hey."
Yes.
Yeah. That's so funny. Well, I mean, you have blonde curly hair, so maybe it's
maybe
it's that.
Yeah, he's always been drawn. Well, Jax has the curliest blonde hair.
Yeah.
It's insane. And so maybe that also very drawn to it. But he, would always grab for it. And so Pissy kids say to not get worried about it, and say, oh, he's just trying to get my attention to say hi. Henry, we don't pull hair. And then he wouldn't do it. And luckily he hasn't done it much anymore. So that's the thing, when you open up the communication, when they have a way to express themselves.
Yeah.
Because I've done this with nieces and nephews before and said, okay, we're just going to try this for 10 minutes. We can't say anything. And like, just imagine how frustrating that life could be if no one would talk. Like, if you couldn't say what you needed to say, but you needed to express it. Like, I want to get a drink. And you don't have it. What are you going to do? Eventually, you're going to start, like, if someone's not looking at you because you're not talking, you're going to tap on them. You're going to, and what happens if you don't have control of that arm? Like, it's going to be a whack. So that's always been a thing with, like, the cousins. Just to really open their eyes whenever they're struggling. Say, yes, that's right. And then they're so much more patient. They just, it's a good way to understand, like, everyone doesn't have the same advantages. And some advantages that we shouldn't have to take for granted, like speaking, or just, something other people don't have. So
I'm always trying to. I don't know what the term nonverbal really means. Because it sounds like Henry's a loud kid. Makes noise.
Well, that's a good point. We're going away from the term nonverbal. It's non-speaking. And I'm still learning to say that because it's true. He is very verbal. And verbal is not just spoken communication. And it's important to be precise with those types of language because it is defining somebody. So to be more precise and understand that. But yes, he is loud and he laughs and he giggles and he has words. He has almost 30 words.
That's awesome.
That he can say. And I mean, some are a little in Henry speak, but we know what he's saying. And some sound really similar, like Ice and Izzy and Ellis are all very close, but we know what he means. So, it is very hard whenever they can't always communicate with them. But with an AAC, it helps a lot because he's able to, and we require more out of him now too. You got to say that in a full sentence and not just one word. Because kids will still, I mean, everyone tries to be lazy to some degree.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like, let's get the easiest way.
Yeah, why use many words when few words do trick?
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly, 100%.
Cheese means cheese. Just give it cheese, all right? I have to say please? I mean, come on.
Right. I have to say, I want cheese. Cheese worked last week.
And it's always worked. So you know exactly what I mean.
You used to clap when I said cheese.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. How long did it take you? How old's Henry now?
Henry's 8.
Okay. So it's been 6 years since the diagnosis.
Yes, it's been 6 years. A little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long did it take to get in, quote unquote, not the word acceptance, maybe rhythm, where you're just like, all right, this is what we are now. Like, how long did it take for you guys to, and maybe you're still getting there too, and you're very optimistic people, as you've said. How long did it take to get to like a, even, or have you gotten there, or do you think it's even possible to get to that point where you're like, all right, this is our life. We're going to choose. We're actually having joy here as well. What's that process been like over the last 6 years?
I mean, that is such an interesting question because I know every family would think something different. And I choose to not think pessimistically because as soon as you do, like it can just take over.
It does not take much to fall into that pit.
Yes. So and I've always been a very optimistic spin on things to a degree that it's almost devil's advocate that people don't like it. Like, why do you always have to be so positive about this? It's like, well, especially when people are fighting about something. And like, well, maybe they meant that. It's like, I didn't want them to mean that. I want to be mad at them. Like, so to always like make that your drive to be positive. I mean, that's the hardest part is to tell yourself that you're only going to be positive about it. But I mean, getting the diagnosis, I left work.
Yeah.
Cried. Like it was, I'm going to cry still. I don't think I cry because I'm pessimistic at all about it. I cry because it's just an overwhelming thought. Yeah. And also seeing all the support is just overwhelming. Like half the time I do cry, it's because of the positive side of it.
Yeah.
Like our school, like the school here, just so Stephanie Freebie, Micah Breimer, I mean, they just they celebrate with him every day. They thrive with him. I mean, he has therapists that care about him. And Henry, like, you can't necessarily be pessimistic around you. So you've met him, so he just is always smiling. So it's
Yeah.
hard to even be pessimistic when he's got this giant smile on his face, or he's just so excited about something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to even be in that mindset whenever you're trying to remind you to think positively. Like, well, this kid is a pure joy. Like, he's not, like, some people will think, oh, that must be so difficult, or that must be such a burden. And it is difficult, but he's not at all a burden. Like, if anything, he's strengthened our faith and, let us know that you don't need a lot to be happy, and you don't need a lot to have joy. And, like, even when things can be so tough, like how a lot of people will say, oh, he can be so happy, I can be happy. And that's not necessarily true. Everyone has their own things that they're dealing with. So it's not, you shouldn't discount your own struggles just because someone is struggling more. But you can get joy from other people, and you can celebrate their successes with them, even when things might be difficult for you. So he definitely brings a lot of joy to our lives. So I do think the brothers will learn a lot. I mean, they've been driven a lot. They ask a lot of questions, and they don't quite understand yet what it all means, because to them it's just normal.
Yeah.
So if anything, they want to be able to take a tablet around with them all the time. Why can't they do that? But especially older brother, who can hack anything. He can hack any system. Anytime he gets his AAC device, he finds a way to hack it and figure something out with it. And Corey, he's one of those kids for him to watch out for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
AI won't have nothing on him.
Yeah, that's true. No, he'll learn how to master
That's
AI.
right. That's right. And if you feel like I'm on this topic too much, we can hop off of it. It means a lot to me, obviously. And, I think a lot of my hope in this podcast and interviewing people is to highlight people that I think all of us would just call us, regular people, and how we've navigated our lives, what we thought it was going to look like, the importance and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and where did we leave off though? Oh yeah,
we got off on something there.
Yeah, like so they don't quite, understand, everything around Henry's.
Yeah, because it's just life.
Yeah,
like for us, it was this big, like there was before and after, right? And we don't like to define it that way because it's always been Henry, but like there was a shift, and every adult has to deal with, big change at some point in their life.
Yeah.
And so just being, choosing to hit the ground running, and it's exhausting. I mean, even now, and getting his services covered, I kind of say that we were very big squeaky wheels and not taking no for an answer on a lot of things, but
have to be.
You do. We have a great organization here in Howard County, Social Services or Selective Services that that helps individuals with disabilities. And I think we just expected so much that it kind of put a lot of strain on everyone. But, we didn't give up with it. And sometimes I feel like there are things that we could have a little bit more tenacity around, but when it comes to your kids and certain things, you just want to do what's best for them. And we understand that early intervention is where it's at. And the longer you wait and the longer you ignore it, the worse it's going to be. Because Henry's in ABA to help with some of those behaviors, like to help reinforce that positive communication and not...
Do they have ABA in Howard County now?
They don't, unfortunately, and we're just out of range for a lot of organizations that would travel.
Yeah.
But so we do go to Columbia for that.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a sacrifice we make, and it's not a sacrifice that every family has the means to make. I mean, we really point to God and like our community and our support for those opportunities, because, not everyone can drive to Columbia. Like right now he's on a twice a week schedule there. We used to do a 4 or 5 day a week schedule there, Columbia and back. He did half days during kindergarten because, we wanted to be gung-ho because we knew that timeline was important for him. And our schools supported us, and they see what Henry can do, and they push him, and don't they don't just make him conform to what they expect a child to be able to do. They actually come to him where he is, but still push him, and they know him so well. I mean, we had on every February 15th is Angelman Syndrome Awareness Day. It's International Angelman
I just
Day.
saw something like that.
Yeah.
Were you sharing stuff, I guess?
Probably.
Okay.
I
It was an event, right? Yeah.
It's everyone wears blue.
Okay.
So, and then their monument, like lots of buildings are lit up blue. I've actually talked to trying to get the courthouse when they get their lights going to light it up blue on February 15th.
Seems easy enough, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to make sure
once you get in there, you know.
Right. Well, they just need the lights to work or to, to be able to do that in order. And then they need a process in place because if they let one, they've got to make sure they're accommodating. So
interesting.
And it'll happen. I'm optimistic.
There you go.
That's my word of the day, I guess, that it's gonna happen. But like this school, like the kids all wear blue, and the teachers got Angelman Syndrome Support Squad shirts. Like the first year they did that, I did cry. Like I left the building and cried. But like everyone just like wants to bring awareness to a condition that a lot of even doctors that we see, we have to explain what Angelman syndrome is. And luckily he has tandem diagnosis, so he has an autism diagnosis as well and a cerebral palsy diagnosis. But just having to educate them on what they're going to be treating our son for. So it's nice that now we used to drive up to Chicago to see a specialist. And now that we have one in Kansas City, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Building that community and people understanding Henry, because this is where we want Henry to live.
Yeah.
Like this
is
talk
about that. Was there ever a moment that you're like, shoot, we can't live here anymore because none of these resources are close? And then it sounds like now there's been an intentional choice to stay here.
Yeah. So I don't think it was ever at the top of our mind to consider moving because this is home. I mean, Corey was born at the hospital here in town. Like he's
that old. Wow.
He's that old. Shh, don't.
Sorry, man.
But yes, he was born here at the hospital in town.
That's
he can
funny.
tell you exactly which room, but it's not. We want this town to succeed. We want to be in a small town. I mean, anyone can go to a big city and get lost in the shuffle. And we want a community. We want kids that dress up in blue because they know Henry and they want to support Henry and they tell people about Angelman syndrome and they know what an AAC device is and they know that Henry uses it for his voice. And you're not going to necessarily get that. I mean, to go out of town, we've had people, and I don't fault anyone for doing it, but we've had families that will move states because of benefits. And luckily, we got our benefits squared away. It was years in the making to get where he is. And it was a lot of people doing a lot of things to get him the services that he has. So it's not easy, but we didn't ever consider really leaving this place that we call our home. So, and people have stepped up. Like people have taken him and they've supported him, and the school, like schools in bigger cities, I feel like, and there's nothing wrong with classrooms that are exclusively for individuals with special needs, but we wanted Henry to be integrated into the community and to have friends in classrooms so the kids here know him. And we'll walk down the road. I mean, we walked Henry one time and like, oh, two Henrys, like the two Henrys of Fayette. Like it's just, it's good to have people that know him. Like if he were in a big city, I feel like, yeah, he'd have services, but would he have people that care about him? Would he have people that know him? So.
Interesting. So that's kind of that, what I'm hearing teasing out is like the weight of services versus the weight of community, and which one's
more important?
More important. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't want him to just live. We want him to thrive. So, I mean, he can live anywhere, but are people going to come up to him and give him a high five, or are they just going to look at him as they walk in the street because they have no education on individuals with special needs, or they have no community themselves to think including them is important for me and my community. It's good for me to know. So
interesting.
Did you want to expand on anything like with with your family
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah. I don't want to, yeah, I'll talk and then I'll think about it.
Yeah. That's a great
Because it's not live, but like, I don't want to, so far, I have not in our conversation so far, not shared because I don't at all want to, and we both know this as special needs parents that like, you don't want to, equalize our experience. It's completely different. And if you were asking me to be umpire, I would guess what you guys are dealing with is much tougher than what we've dealt with so far. From a time perspective, but I think my audience would understand that impulse. You and I think, understand that every journey is completely different and equally difficult.
Yes.
Like when you talked about before and after, there's just some photos that I have that are like, oh, that was a different world we lived in.
Yeah.
Like a completely different world. Like that's a before picture.
Yeah. I have those pictures.
And they just tear me up a little bit. So if we keep this, I want to say this. Because I think being I don't know if optimistic's the right word for me, but I think the word that I would use is the word I put in my brain is the warrior. The warrior in me is like, so anyway, Ellie, if you're watching this, I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. And so if any of this comes across to you as like, why is my dad talking about me like this? It's because I don't know and I'm trying to figure it out. And I always want to say it like that because praying every night that God would heal her. I'm not mad at what she's dealing with. But like, I also believe that if God didn't want her to have what she was having, that he could take it away. So I don't know if you guys have a similar prayer life around that. I just hate how final things are in those diagnoses, that especially the words like she can't do this. Because a lot of times I'm just like, I just think she won't, because she is super receptive as well. That chick will say cheese when she wants it, So like having to walk that line between how much do I push her versus how much do I, accept the current reality, while also just not loving the words of just, can't. She can't do that. I'm like, she can't do it yet is what is happening in my brain. And so that stuff can just be really hard to always push through. And there's just little moments that I think, again, I'm just thankful to the Lord of even like the gift of the problem, for lack of a better term. Because like, it's just, for me, I'm like, what else would I want to be exhausted doing besides this? What else would I want to labor for? Than to labor over this. But there's just those moments, like pictures of before that, the pre-pictures. Yesterday, got handicap stuff. And that was one of those where you're like, because you read on that paper from the physician, it's permanent disability. I'm just like, those are big words. That you have to use that word. I think that's the hardest part of jumping through all the hoops of the government stuff is it's just the words that have to be used.
Yes.
And you're just like, and you just really have to get over your own ego. I think you talked a little bit about that too, of just like getting your ego out of the way that goes, all right, this is the game we're playing, or this is the battle we're in, and we're going to learn how to stay on the field, not be mad that these are the rules and these are the outcomes. So all that to say, that was all bottled up inside of me that I just, I always just like to pretense. And I guess I'll ask you, like, what's your mindset around everything I just said, including talking about Henry, who you would say you feel like is super receptive. I think that's some of my nervousness is like, I still have like hope that Ellie will completely understand everything that I'm saying. But then I think about, she's also her own person. So what if she hears all this stuff and she's like, why's my dad talking about me like this? So what's been kind of your... I
do agree, talking about Henry is something that, that's putting his life out there. And he's not fully saying that that's what he wants, except with his actions of, participating in things and finding joy in those things. But, I think we all want, and I can't think of the last time that I thought I want him to be healed in the sense that something is wrong with him, because I think that there is, clearly there is something that's abnormal, but that's defining him as less than. And he is great, and Ellie is great, I'm sure. And we don't need to harp on the idea that we have to fix them. We can improve things for them, but accepting the way that they are instead of trying to conform them to the way that we are. I mean, does Ellie have to say everything? Like, Henry doesn't have to say everything for us to know what he wants. And by building that community, there are lots of people in this community that know exactly what Henry wants when he just smiles at them. Like, oh, he is saying this. And he makes that known. And it is hard because this is how we are. This is my body. It's how I communicate. And to think that Henry won't ever sit in this chair and be able to have this conversation, or that when brothers are older and telling me about, girls they like, or, struggles they're having, that I'm just going to have to figure it out and interpret it for him. And that, he can tell me, but I want words.
Yeah.
Like, but that's me. That's not him.
Yeah.
And I think if anything, God shows us that, like, we don't have to conform other people to us in order to love them.
Yeah.
And that people can show love in different ways that we might not expect. So, but I do agree with what you said about, like, going through with doctors and even with, services that he has, and having, like, those are the hard days. Like, as optimistic, you have to set that aside for sure, because I can't think of what I want Henry to be or what I imagine Henry to be, and then, like, to flat out say, no, he can't be left alone. No, I can't leave the room for more than 3 minutes without him being, like, me thinking that he's unsafe. I can't, like, and to use that word can't when you want to be optimistic, because that's what the world wants to see. Like, they want the facts on what they can't do, and you can just be optimistic and say, I see that he's going to be able to do that. I know he's going to be able to run and kick a ball someday at the same time, but that's not what they want to hear, and that's not what they should hear. It's all black and white on that side of things. But
I don't think that's malicious intent either. I just think it's the reality of the world, of that world, And I think for us, there is, for some reason, and this is purely just the Lord, like, the peace that comes from now not knowing of what the future is going to look like is actually a lot of peace of just going, oh, we're just, like, right here, Like,
every day, prayers before we go to bed, we say, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Yeah,
like,
it's the only one we've been given.
Right. Like, we're happy. Like, we had a hard time today. We had a great time today. Thank you, Lord. Like,
yeah. It stripped a lot of, I think, pretense away of probably a lot of the anxieties of, like, what's this going to be and what's that going to be, and all of a sudden it's just like, it's just us and the family now.
Yeah.
And there's some really beautiful parts of that, and then you have the challenging days. And so people ask about her development, and I'm like, it's kind of like if I stared at a leaf from, like, right here.
Yeah.
You're asking me to go, what's she learned? I'm like, I don't know. I'm right here. It's right here. So I think when it comes to, like, praying for her healing, I think I felt conviction to do that. Not to conform her, but I think just knowing that, like, if any mom or parents were 6 months pregnant and they gave you do you want autism or Angelman's, check yes or no, I think everybody would check no.
No.
Not that makes her less than or incapable, but I just think the challenge, and obviously but everybody's got different challenges, but the challenges that Henry has and will face, and that Ellie will too. And then I think there's just obviously that anxiety of, like, what happens when I am not around, that just terrifying feeling too of just that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of the simple prayer of please heal her is probably filled with a bunch of, I'm so scared about all this stuff. And each day that I'm given is a new opportunity to trust that kind of stuff. So,
she's probably helping you, just like Henry.
Oh,
Like
dude.
great
She's
patience.
so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Hilarious.
gosh. And I agree, very receptive. And she sings. She loves songs. And she's amazingly like I Have a Little Heart that I was playing. There's a key change in there. She'll do it.
Wow.
Yeah. She'll do it. So I'm hoping she'll be a little singer. Like
Yes.
music might be her out.
How old is she?
3.
3. Yeah,
About to turn 4.
About to turn 4.
Yeah. And then you talked about siblings too. The fun, like you talked about the AAC device. We don't have one of those yet. But JJ has been a huge gift. My son, and seems to be developing neurotypically so far. And but some of the ways she plays, she really likes to stick like Legos or little people on her hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Every single little finger. Well, guess who's doing that now?
Isn't that the best?
Yeah. JJ's like, oh, you know.
It is the best when they want to be like their big sibling.
Yeah.
Like all the fear you had. Oh, it's just,
yeah.
This person looks up to them. Like
Yep.
that is the best feeling when they mimic them.
And then there's some things that they do. They're like, you're like, no, don't do that. Like one of Ellie's things is she runs in counterclockwise circles. And now as she gets bigger, she's fast. And oftentimes she'll like have a little people on her finger and just do a big lap around the house. Well, JJ recently has been putting a finger right here and just spinning in circles until he gets dizzy. And then he's like, oh, and it's like, well, you don't need to pick up on that one.
You need to get one of those spin chairs.
We have.
You do.
We have
They're
one
great.
of those. Yep. Yeah. You kind of have to cycle in like toys and then cycle them out if you get too fixated on them, you know, with her. But anyway, thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah.
You obviously didn't have to share that kind of stuff. And it really encouraging to me because I'm sure you know the date he was diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
To the T.
Yeah.
It's our anniversary is when Ellie was diagnosed. Yeah, it was great. And that Thompson Center appointment sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Sucks. But it was our
have
anniversary.
your eyes opened. Sometimes you don't want your eyes opened.
Yeah. I think we were nervous. Well, the thing is, it was a while you wait appointment.
Oh.
And so we get there, and then the doctor's like, I have an opening. I'd like to do the eval now. And so we did not go in with thinking we would hear that day. That was a hard run there. But yeah, that's our anniversary. So we still went out to CC's that night and just put food in our mouth.
Yeah.
Because it didn't taste at all.
You're a zombie with that
gosh.
day.
Yeah. We did move to Columbia for the resources, but all that to say, I appreciate you sharing that stuff because I think that's challenging for me and I think that's what I've struggled with too is like we moved to Columbia because Boone County has a ton of easier to access resource probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the analytical numbers person in me is going, if doing that versus living here, like this is my hometown, this is where we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to be here. If by being over there, the spread of her trajectory is 5%, I'd rather just come right back here. You know what I mean? If the spread's like 40%, then I'm like, all right, we can do that and get over it. I'll get over it. But that's where I struggle and then for you to share like that community versus the, what was the thing we were vicing?
Living versus, didn't we
resources.
say?
Resources versus community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a really good, that means that's a lot for me to chew on that I'll talk with my wife about too. Cause we are in the southwest west part of Columbia. I drive 50 minutes every day over here. So what we've been trying to do is get as close to Fayette and still be in Boone County as possible because they do have really excellent resources.
This is what BCFR?
BCFR, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And have had a lot of awesome like horse therapy, all this fun stuff that comes from it. But again, like I think in my brain as I try to do my thing where I project and analyze 10 years out, and like if this is making a incremental difference, community might be more important if this is making a 50% output, but you just can't know that.
Do have to work harder in Howard County, but I feel like that's the same for everyone in rural Missouri. Like you're choosing to be here. Yep. And we're working harder because we want it. We want that community.
Oh, and obviously you value the community more than the resources. Right. All the way down to Chick-fil-A versus not having Chick-fil-A. Right.
Or no McDonald's anymore. I mean, when I moved here, we had McDonald's. I feel ousted now.
Sore subject, yeah.
But Yes, but the county does still offer some of those programs. You can get grants. They're willing to work. It just, you had to put in more
work.
here. But outside
Which I'll
of
say it's
this,
been work over there too. So
yeah,
I'm like,
it
well,
is.
if work is work, then probably do it with some people I know, right? Too.
Mhm. Right. I'd rather, you're driving to Columbia every day.
Yep.
We stop to drive to Columbia for some services that we need
Yep.
or want. But yes.
Still connect with the Thompson Center.
Nice. That's where he does ABA right now. He did Easter seals for the longest time.
Yeah.
That was Megan Trinago over there. Blessing. She, amazing.
Yeah. We've been connected with Easter seals. Adaptive swim lessons right now. That's pretty fun.
I love it.
She loves the water.
That is not something. Henry is obsessed with water.
Yeah.
We tried the longest time to get him an ISR, infant self-rescue, because that is a struggle. We have a pond on our property that's right in front of our house. And just being aware of that safety hazard and needing him to be able to swim whenever he has global motor delays. So that's good that you've got her in that, because she can really, that's a passion. Like, I want to be in the water all the time.
Yeah. Oh, if she could, she would. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping she can actually learn how to support herself, because that's another big fear as well. But speaking of county, let's transition.
Yeah, let's transition.
How about that? Speaking of county, you're running for treasurer. Wow. Your life must be in a place where you feel like you can. Is that a full-time job?
It can be, yes.
Okay. So your life must be in a spot where you're like ready to hop back in.
It's flexible to a degree, both the position, but yes. So Ellis is going to be starting school full-time next year, and we're just, I love being a stay-at-home mom, and I love being with my kids and doing all the homesteading type stuff that we're kind of diving into. But my brain,
like what?
Oh, well, I have all the plans. I want to do all the things.
Friggin' tell me.
I told Cody, I said, you'd mentioned, I think either on Vietnam or on this podcast with someone, that communities getting together to like have those things. I'm like,
be our own resource. Yeah.
Be our own resource. Yeah. And one thing that we're already off topic. One thing.
That's fine. We're getting to know you as you're running for treasurer.
Getting to know you. But Corey and I have recently explored, not recently, because I think about things for a long time before I pull the trigger. No,
does
seriously.
He not?
No, he does. Okay. But he just he does it all in like binge learning over 3 days, and I micro learn over 6 months.
Got it.
So
neither of you are quick starts.
We could be if we need to be.
Gotcha.
And but some things, whenever it doesn't have to be done, and that's what's compelling about this is like we're really interested in milling our own flour. But I'm a cook, not a baker.
Okay.
So like the benefits.
I think cooking's harder than baking. That'll really tick somebody off.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then here, I'll cook for you. You bake for me, and we'll be good. Don't burn our bread, okay?
I think cooking has more versatile skills you have to learn. I think once you master baking, then you master all baking.
That's true.
Maybe.
And maybe it's because I want to apply cooking to banking and want it to be as easy as it is.
Yeah. But also like, not to roast bakers, but sometimes just following directions, But
true.
Baking to me was brownies and cookies growing up.
Box brownies and cookies?
Yeah, box brownies. Well. But now I make homemade brownies, okay. Which are great. They're awful for you. And I have tried out bread before, and I've been decent at it. So
I've been subpar at bread. That's the thing is I see the benefits of fresh milled flour.
Yep.
But I don't have the baking skills yet because I've put all this time and effort into cooking and have built up those skills.
You're just not there yet, You're still in your 30s. You got time.
I'm still in my 30s for a little bit. But I said it would be great if we had, just those small towns used to have the baker, the butcher.
The butcher, yeah.
Yeah, and those people would be experts in their fields, and the rest of the community would benefit, and you would have your trade, and the community would benefit. And I've often thought of starting on a micro level. Well, I'll mill the flour if someone will bake the bread, and someone will grow this in their garden, and we'll just...
Well, even at a minimum, if you mill the flour, can we have a market to sell it in?
Right, right.
Because that could be the next thing, too. I've definitely had an idea of building like a commissary kitchen around here. Yeah. That would be cool.
That would
I think a butcher would be epic here.
It would.
I thought that building across from me, the old liquor store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that would be a good like
You just
meat
walk
shop.
across the street.
Yeah, well,
Street.
I would love it. I'm trying to make North Main Street like the party block. Where you can like food trucks and ice cream and things like that. A dairy place. Like I would love milk. Whatever. So anyway, back to running for treasurer.
Running for treasurer.
Why on earth?
Well, so this past year, Corey and I have decided we want to be more involved with the community directly, because being a special needs family and special needs parents, you do close yourself off more, and you have to be intentional. Just like we're intentional about thinking optimistically, we need to intentionally be involved, because it is hard and it's really easy to make excuses to not go out. Like we're having a hard
Fair
day.
excuses, by the way.
Fair excuses,
valid.
but they're definitely cutting us off for the reason why we're here, which is we're here for the community.
Yeah. And
if we're not participating in the community, then go somewhere else where, if we're not helping out, then why are we here? Or if we're not participating, why are we here? But
can you call it community if you're not participating?
If you're not participating, can you
Yeah.
call it community? And so last year, we just made it incrementally, because you can't just dive right in.
Yep.
But it was amazing. And we do put it to God that all these opportunities that have come up, like we joined Faith Family, like that was part of it. We need to find a stable church again. We can't be making the special needs family excuse. So that came up. I joined the PTSA, and that was great to see everything that they do. And then the treasurer position, we heard about that at the end of last year, that maybe that was going to come available. And with Ellis going to school and me being satisfied by dealing with numbers and working on that, it was just all of these things for direct community involvement were falling into place. So we were just, it was kind of a no-brainer. It was more of is it going to work for our family? Because again, we don't want to commit to something. We want to overthink it a little. We don't want to commit to something unless we know we can really do the best at it. And so, we decided it was the perfect opportunity. I think it's going to align with our family schedule. It will have the flexibility if, like today, Henry has an emergency doctor's appointment. If I need to leave, then it sounds like that will be reasonable, or we have enough support in place that someone else could take care of it.
Yeah.
And, it'll make me feel more fulfilled as well. When the kids aren't there, then things to take care of at the house aren't as exciting or, as engaging as going to the courthouse and being able to handle all of that, like dealing with numbers again. So
what does the treasurer position entail?
They're basically,
because Susan's been doing it
for years, right?
Yeah.
So I've had a good conversation with her, but basically the bank of the county. So they'll handle everything coming in, paying the levies, making sure everything's accounted for. So they work really heavily with the clerk's office just to make sure or the collector's office, sorry, just to make sure that everyth's aligning.
Nice.
Oh, no, he's assessor.
Oh, okay. My
so
bad.
We won't have this McCutcheon money scam going on. But just being able to handle that side and make sure everything's going where it needs to go, making sure we're on track. It gets audited by the state just to make sure that everything's aligning with the state's ones.
And all that is exciting to you.
All that is exciting
Love
to me.
it.
I know. It is so fun. That was one of the benefits of First Midwest is I got to use my investigative side to really dive into numbers.
What did you do that was investigative?
I got to go in and evaluate accounts to help build, like with the FDIC was an example. So just anytime I saw something,
like case studying.
Yes.
I like
that.
I
loved it. And then I ended up helping businesses whenever they were having, like I'd help businesses track some things that they had going on as far as big deposits or big withdrawals, and just helping the banker help the business or the individual the most. So I feel like that'll...
Did you get to like sniff out some of the like CTRs and right below 10,000 or right above it? Was that some of your stuff?
That was so fun too. Like snuffing out there, getting the fraud.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing was more exciting than having someone bring a fraudulent check in. You're like, oh man, no, I'm sorry.
I've been waiting for this.
And then I'd show it to everyone. Like, this is why it's fraudulent. Like, something's wrong. That number, that's not right. And then you're like, I saved the day for you, customer. This is great. So
that's great.
I loved it. Oh, and I loved teaching people about it. Just because I was so excited and I wanted them to be excited. And, sometimes they were.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to light you up in a certain way. But I think a lot of, even if banking sounds mundane, like any job, like you can really exercise what lights you up in it in most places, right? I have always told people that like if you can't deal with people, your ceiling will be limited because every job deals with people, coworkers, whatever. So your ceiling will be limited if you can't deal with people. But there's almost any job you can find that thing that lights you up and keeps you there and keeps you enjoying it. So it's super encouraging to hear. Again, that is a community choice to participate in your community is why you're running for this. Obviously, it sounds like you have the skills to be the treasurer and things like that. It's an elected position that pays.
Yes.
Cool.
So you do have to go and vote for me if you think that I'm the best fit.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then why do they even, in a small community like this, you have to run on a party ballot? Is that right?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's just the same because they'll
like. Could you just pick no party?
I don't know if you could be independent.
Okay.
So
which is a party.
Which is a party. Yeah. So that's what people will choose if they don't want to be Republican or Democrat.
So you picked Republican.
So I picked Republican because that's usually how I vote. I am open-minded, but
sure.
That's just the way that I align usually.
Yeah.
And I hear there is someone that's going to be running on the Republican ticket as well. So we'll
Stephanie Ford, I think.
Yes, yes. So we will have a primary. If she decides to run, we'll have the primary in August. And then if no one runs on the Democratic ticket, then it'll just be...
So no vote's coming up in April on this.
No, so this isn't till August.
Got it.
Which is why I was a little... But yes, not till August for this primary. But getting the word out, and hopefully you'll see me at your door knocking if you're...
Okay. All right. We can get some signs going.
Yeah. We're going to go.
You can put your face on a car.
Yeah. Well, can you put it on the back of your...
That's what I should do. I wish I could sell ad spots on my moving billboards. That would be smart. Maybe I'll get a car that's not... Exactly. And then just have one just be like the Land and Ball podcast car. We thought about doing a Henry's car, but I can't stop. The amount of insurance I pay on these cars is driving me insane.
Really?
Coming from me. Well, we should probably wrap up here. Did we miss anything that you wanted to talk about? I mean, we got everywhere.
The PTSA was the only
talk about
thing. So
what is that? What does it stand for?
It's Parent Teacher Student Association.
Okay.
And it's the Daily Elementary. And what it is it supports a lot of the programs that they do at school that need extra resources. So they cover the cost of the field trips for the kids usually. So when they have a class field trip, the PTSA covers it so the parents don't have to.
Wow.
And then it provides family fun nights. Like in March, we're going to have a family fun night. It does donuts with grownups. It just keeps the engagement between families and teachers. And this year we've implemented, because there's always been the S in PTSA, which a lot of programs don't have.
I was going to say, I've never heard the S in there.
It's always been PTO or PTA.
Yeah.
And it was really important with our foundation to include students. And we just haven't found a way to do that. And so this year it was a big focus. So we have student members this year. And each quarter we're trying to do a student-led, they choose it, service project. So during our meetings, there's a time when all the kids get together to powwow and they discuss what's going on, things at the school that they see. Because, I mean, this is all for the kids.
Yeah.
So if we're not hearing from the kids, how do we really know what's going on? And so we really need involvement from parents, from teachers, and then from students. Because it's always just been so ill-attended that we're not getting true representation of what the school wants. Because again, if we're not hearing from the teachers and the students and the parents on what they're seeing in the school, what problems or benefits, then how do we know? How are we really serving the school?
Has that been Himmelman, who's mostly...
No, she does parents as teachers.
Okay,
but that is another great program. If kids are under 5 or 5, not started kindergarten yet, I highly
that's
encourage.
how we got in First Steps, I think, was maybe introduction, I think.
Probably. There might have been something. Parents as teachers.
Okay, so that's not different. Okay.
I do encourage parents as teachers. Well, Kristen Himmelman will be a good one to...
But PTSA, does it have like a director?
It has a president.
Who is?
So Kelsey Fisher is the president, but we do have elections on Monday.
Ooh.
So I hope if you get this out by Monday.
Oh, yeah, it'll be out Monday morning. Yep.
Monday morning. Okay, tonight. Monday tonight, come and we just need hands and voices, because the problem is when you have 4 people attending and you need 4 officers, then they kind of feel like they have to do that.
Yeah.
And people are getting burnt out. because they're having to support this whole program that's meant for, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I would go with my mom sometimes to the PTA meeting, and it'd be filled with parents that would go and talk and voice and say what's going on and what they want to see. And now with such a small outbringing, I mean, it could go extinct if people aren't participating. And then those things that they're supporting right now are going to fall back on the school who might not have the resources for it, and fall on the parents who also might not have the resources for it. So it does have an annual due of $6, but $6 for the whole year. And we've opened business member, $6, which... Yes.
Add 0.0001 to the sales tax hike that the ambulance is offering to cover that. All right. Let's just cover it for everybody.
Well, and we are opening business memberships too for $50 a year. And that just gets some.
That's too far.
Yeah, right. And we'll evaluate that. But that's just another boost to help with those. And with the lack of sometimes members, then it can kind of subsidize that and maybe get some business voices in there that might want to support other things.
I do talk, so I'd be interested. So,
but yeah, that's the big one. If people want to come out and just support it, I mean, the more people we have, the more it gets spread out. I mean, even if someone just wants to help with social media, like that's all you do. Or honestly, if you just want to come and voice or video
content,
and you don't have to be a parent of a student. You can be anyone, Cody.
He's not even with us right now. He's not even with us.
What are you asking?
No, we're teasing.
Anyone in the community. If you have a desire to support children in our community, you can be a member. Like, you don't have to be a parent. You don't even have to be a grandparent or a relative. You could be any community member that wants to support our local school. So,
well, that seems like a good place to land, especially for lots of you that are looking for ways to get involved in the community. Parent or not, PTSA is a way to do that. Vote for Stacie it would be November, or primaries in August?
Primaries in August.
Okay, primaries in August. And then November being the final vote. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. This has been really nice, encouraging to me. Thanks for being vulnerable. I hope that means a lot to anybody listening. I have a noon o'clock. What time is it right now?
Noon.
Is it noon? Here we go.
Perfect.
Thank you, Stacie.
Thank you.
Yep. And your mom's got it going on?
She's got it going on.
All right.